All You Need to Know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning and happy Friday to you. You're listening to the All You Need to Know podcast on Bloomberg Quint with me, Alex Matthew. Today is the 7th of February. Now, you probably tuned in when the monetary policy was being announced by the Reserve Bank of India governor yesterday afternoon, but Bloomberg Quint's been looking closely at the announcements that accompanied the one that said that there was to be no cut in the interest rates. The central bank has decided to introduce long-term repo operations into its liquidity toolkit, a measure that market participants expect will bring down the short-term rates sharply and also prompt increased investment in corporate bonds. These LTROs, as they are called, together with the RBI's earlier introduced Operation Twist, are an attempt by the central bank to manage bond yields and push transmission of already announced interest rate cuts. If you missed it, all the members of the Monetary Policy Committee voted yesterday in favor of holding rates unchanged, but with the policy stance maintained at accommodative. This is because they believe the inflation scenario as it stands is incredibly unpredictable. India's capacity utilization in the manufacturing sector dropped to the lowest in at least 4 years, and consumer confidence fell amid a slowing economy. But the outlook is slightly more optimistic than current indicators suggest. Capacity utilization at the aggregate level declined to 69.1% in the quarter ended September from 73.6% in the preceding 3 months, according to the Reserve Bank of India's forward-looking survey released yesterday. But the Business Expectation Index suggested an improvement in the fourth quarter. That's corroborated by the Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index for January 2020, which rose to 55.3 from 51.2 in November as output and new orders rose. After 4 years of double-digit growth, Indian domestic passenger traffic rose by just 5.1% in 2019, down from nearly 19% in 2018, according to the International Air Transport Association. India's largest car maker, Maruti Suzuki, is in no hurry to replace its existing fleet of internal combustion engines with electric variants, even as its peers are seemingly embracing the technology more than ever. The leadership at the company believes that it's going to be a while before electric vehicles become the mainstay, and until then, the company is going to focus on improving fuel efficiencies to reduce fuel consumption. In the pharma space, Cipla is expecting that its India business will grow faster than the domestic pharmaceutical market in the next few quarters on the back of investments and product licensing. In an interview with Bloomberg Quint, Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director Umang Vohra pegged the growth of the company's India business at 18 to 20% over the next couple of quarters. In international news, Boeing has discovered a new software problem on the grounded 737 MAX, but the company said the flaw won't set back the goal of returning the plane to service in mid-2020. The planemaker identified the issue during flight testing and notified the Federal Aviation Administration last month, according to an email on Thursday from Boeing. The problem was that an indicator light designed to warn of a malfunction by a system that helps raise and lower the plane's nose was turning on when it was not supposed to. In an update on the coronavirus, there's still no reduction in the spread of the disease, but it's primarily spreading in China. The number of cases in that country has risen to over 30,000, with 636 having been reported dead as of this morning. In international markets, US stocks climbed yet again. The Dow and the S&P 500 rose about 0.33% each, while the Nasdaq ended higher by 0.7%. And it's a negative start to trade in the Asia-Pacific region. All three early risers have started the trading session in the red. And with that, it's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Darshan. How are we looking at the end of the week?
Hi Alex, good morning. Good morning everyone. Global cues are muted at this point of time and that's also indicative of what the SGX Nifty is showing up. But we're in the final stage of the Nifty earnings wrapping up. So Britannia, NTPC, UPL and Tata Steel will report numbers today. Among the larger companies there is Voltas, Whirlpool, Oberoi, Mahanagar Gas, Nesco, Inox Leisure, Abbott, ACC, Alchem, Varun Beverages, Symphony, India Cement, New India Assurance, KC International, all of them will report numbers. Among numbers reported, Hero MotoCorp results were above estimates. The lower raw material cost and lower corporate tax aided growth. The management hinted at a better second half on the back of improved rural sentiment. NMDC results were in line with estimates. Sales realization was down 14%. But remember, this was because of the shutdown of the Donimalai plant. If adjusted for that, growth numbers are positive. Aurobindo Pharma results were in line with estimates. Increase in other expenditure and employee cost was largely offset by the higher gross margins, and the profit was impacted by higher tax expenses. Indraprastha Gas results were in line with estimates. CNG sales volumes were up 9%, PNG sales volume was up 18%, and lower expenses and taxes aided the financial. Metropolis Healthcare revenues up 17%, EBITDA up 30%, net profit up 35%. Dalmia Bharat, decent numbers. Profit was dragged due to higher other expenses and freight charge. But apart from it, there was a volume growth of 14% and EBITDA per ton was up 8%. The other companies that we need to watch out include Trent, in which revenues up 45%, profit up 21%, EBITDA was up 2.5 times. Bata India, the quarter was aided by innovation, channel expansion and franchisee distribution. So there was a strong number from Bata. Even Emphasis came out with strong set of numbers. The new deal wins were at $190 million in the direct business. The average run rate has been $154 million for FY19. There are signs of stability in the DXC portfolio and that is elevating concern. And United Breweries, while the revenues were flat, EBITDA was down 11%. The margins were dragged down by higher raw material cost, employee expenses. But Goldman Sachs says that they estimate a volume decline of 4% versus 3% volume growth. So that is something you need to watch out for. Other stocks to watch: Wipro won a multi-year strategic IT deal from Marelli, which is a global tier 1 automotive technology supplier. Sundaram Finances has completed the sale of its entire 10% stake in Equifax. EID Parry board has approved the capacity expansion of sugar at Hilayal unit at an estimated investment of 99 crores. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab and you will be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day and an even better weekend.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.